So, Taiki and chinastu were flirting. Plus, 3 things that I mentioned we didn't receive in the last chapter happened in this one. I'm referring to, of course, Yusa appearing, the ankle bracelets being mentioned, and Taiki having a moment to talk with chinastu. Hello everyone and welcome to the Anime Zillia, and today let's talk about chapter 38 of the Blue Box manga series. A great chapter that gives us that Taiki and chinastu moment, which of course was something that I thought was missing from the ending of chapter 37. And it's with this conversation that I actually want to start this review by talking about, because the conversation between the two was rather wholesome and fun and also a little bit sweet. Now, there was one line that had me slightly worried for chinastu's chances at nationals, and that line is the one in where Taiki wishes for her good fortune and no injuries. Why does this line worry me so much? Well, I can see a situation happening in where chinastu gets taken down and falls to the ground. Basically, this would be during one of her matches, and upon falling, her ankle bracelet will snap, while her physical body would suffer a small but tournament-ending injury. Now, of course, the band snapping would be a symbolism for like her dreams breaking and shattering, while obviously her physical body taking her out of the tournament. Taiki, of course, was using good faith when adding those wishes onto the ankle bracelets that, of course, him and chinastu share. But when you get too greedy and ask for too much, sometimes things just don't go your way. And in other cases, in the extreme senses, they do backfire and cause a lot of issues. chinastu herself even stated that maybe Taiki was asking for too much. Plus, there is already the added pressure that chinastu has to perform at her very best upon her character. Mix in with the fact that she's not 100% focused, in that her mind is still slightly thinking about Taiki and her feelings towards him. Mistakes are bound to happen in these matches when chinastu gets onto the court. Now personally, I don't want to see chinastu get badly injured, but by the way this chapter focuses on this detail / wish, it does give me some reason to be slightly concerned for our main female lead. Now, of course, if this were to happen, it would also give a good reason for chinastu to try and aim for nationals once again the following year. Because this year, if she gets injured, then she technically did make it to nationals, but what's the point in making it there if you're too hurt to even participate and you're just watching on the sidelines cheering your team on, not being able to contribute anything valuable? So again, if this does happen, it would offer something slightly unique, but it would also offer up some obstacles for chinastu to overcome, both physically and mentally, and thus leading to another inspirational speech and moment from Taiki and chinastu, as Taiki helps motivate her once again to aim for nationals, saying that this time it'll be different. Next time you get there, I promise you, you won't get injured. So this opening conversation between the two I thought was really sweet and wholesome, with a little bit of comedy mixed in there, offering us some slice of life to the series. Yeah, great delivery. Now then, another character I want to talk about really quickly is, of course, Hina. After all, since the fireworks festival, we've seen her super focused, almost to the point of giving off a very distant vibe. Now, when it comes to Hina and nationals, we know that there is pressure upon her to perform amazingly. This, of course, comes from her parents because they are very demanding, and of course her father is also very high ranked in the rhythm gymnastics sort of world of things. Plus, of course, she has her own reputation among the gymnastic community. They, of course, know her as being this amazing rhythm gymnastic performer and expect her to do well. So her being hyper-focused in that sense does make sense. Plus, we have this date at the fireworks festival to consider as well in Hina's kind of approach to things. What if Hina is still thinking about those events and is making mistakes during practice, and thus causing this weird hyper-focus on Hina's part? But the idea of her being distant towards Taiki and Kyo stems from that very reasoning. If she talks to Taiki again, then her focus will be broken because she'll be reminded of that word that Taiki used to describe her. The word, of course, being cute. So we haven't seen a lot of Hina since the Fireworks Festival, but I am intrigued with what we have seen from her, and I can't wait to see what performance she gives off in Nationals. So, hyped. Now then, as for Taiki, this chapter presented him in a rather mature nature, especially when he found out about the possibility of chinastu finding out about him and Hina being alone together at the festival, thus of course leading to chinastu thinking that Taiki is a liar. Taiki handled that realization really calmly and sensibly. He knows the correct sort of approach to take this. He knew that it was a misunderstanding, and he knows that he needs to clear this misunderstanding up when the time is right. No point rushing into it right now, because he knows that he needs to be focused on his training, and chinastu needs to be focused on her national matches, so he really shouldn't be bothering her with this sort of thing right now. Taiki, of course, trying to add more wishes to help chinastu was just him being supportive, as he did want to try and offer her some form of sort of reassurance and some, a little bit of a pep talk, because he was trying to, at the beginning of the chapter, think of something inspirational to say to her before she departed. And of course, that's just what he went with. The biggest question that came away from Taiki's character was, will he speak with chinastu on the phone after bumping into Karen? Personally, I think he will speak to her and say something about his own training, or like maybe he might say, oh, I battled Haru the other day and I beat him. Wow, shocker. Or ask her about her team's hotel, and basically just create general conversation, and not the fact that himself and Hina were at the Fireworks Festival alone because of Kyo's sudden illness. Like I said, Taiki showed a lot of matureness in this chapter, and probably thinks that this type of conversation is quite inappropriate when said over the phone, and is one that needs to be done in person after Nationals. So I don't see Taiki kind of grabbing the phone off Karen and saying, oh, by the way, don't think I'm a liar, because it was not what you think it was. Kyo was meant to come, but he bailed out the last minute saying he was sick with the flu. Phone him and confirm. Taiki's not going to do that. Now then, we're sticking with Taiki, but of course I want to talk more about him personally in terms of his training and his newfound drive. This was showcased within this chapter as he stepped up to face Haru in practice, which A, shows his determination to become better and more skilled, and B, gives Taiki another chance to study Haru's playstyle so that he can create a counter attack for future matches. Another example of Taiki and his newfound drive for Nationals would be when he sees Yusa. Taiki thinks back on the words about how Nationals next year is going to be Haru and Yusa once more. And Taiki, upon remembering this, clenches his fist in anger, looking like he wants to prove those who believe that statement wrong. And this I really do like, because it looks like Taiki is a character that's had the fire lit within him once again, and is ready to go back on court and smash it. So overall, for me personally, I thought this was a great chapter that sets up and leads us into Nationals, while also dropping things to revisit after Nationals as we need to clear up a few more plot threads. So for that perspective, I thought it was great the way they handled this and delivered it. The art style was really nice to look at, plus we saw a goofy face from chinastu, which is quite rare, but honestly, it's welcomed, so I appreciated it. So of course, let me know your thoughts on this chapter in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Hope you've enjoyed this review. If you have, like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and of course, I'll be seeing you next time. Have a great day. Alligator matane. Goodbye.